Everyone, welcome to the webinar. This is a joint webinar that we're doing here. eGrabber and salesperformance.ca presents how to master the art of B2B sales prospecting. And all right, so yep, it looks like we have a lot of people from around the world that are tuning in today. And let me quickly go ahead and introduce the panelists. So we have Richard Nelson, and Richard is a training designer, facilitator, and business coach. His quest for better solutions led to his studies of neurolinguistics, accelerated learning, and experiential learning technologies. Richard is an avid fan of productivity tools for sales and marketing. Thousands of sales representatives have benefited from Richard's trainings. So that's Richard as speaker, and then we also have Clinton from eGrabber. He's our software architect and product manager, and he's the brains behind eGrabber's wonderful softwares. He's put in a lot of work into getting this technology up and running, so he'd be there to talk about it from eGrabber's part. And the voice that you hear is me, Parry, and it's an honor and delight to be moderating the session for you. And before we start the webinar, I'd like to let you know about a few things that you need to be aware of. Since this is not a roundtable conference, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't be able to click on the raise your hand button, and please use your questions box if you have any questions that you need us to answer for you. And we would answer them by the end of the webinar. And you can also follow us on Twitter, and you can tweet in your questions and comments with hashtag eGrabberWebinar, and you also have Richard's, Clinton's Twitter handles as well, so you can follow us there. And just in case, if you have anything that you need to ask me as well, you can just use the questions box. So that's about it. Let's start right away. I'm going to go ahead and hand over the floor to Richard. The floor is all yours, Richard. Take it away.
Great. Thanks a lot, Perry, and to all of you on the webinar. It's an honor to be here with you today. We're going to move as quick as possible to give you the biggest value we can for your time. When we designed this seminar together, or webinar together, the title, "The One Thing Holding Back Your Sales," was something of great interest to me. And the reason is this: I've consulted with lots of companies on how to establish a growth strategy. And one of the starting points is to always look at what is the actual critical assets that the company has for sales and marketing. And I found that attention to the contact lists has often been an area of an opportunity for improvement. And when it's not being done well, it's probably a big cost of lost opportunity. Most companies do have a customer list, and those customer lists are at the best of times in a CRM and a communications platform. A little bit worse than that would be if the customer list is in your accounting software only, or even worse than that if it's just found on in each individual's desktop computers with various contact lists found in each person's Outlook or something like that. So having a good customer list is a given, and I would believe that all of you have that. One of the things that I've found in my experience that's been most missing and lacking is a large and growing prospect list. And by prospect list, what I mean is contact data, contact information including phone number, extensions, full mailing addresses, and email addresses, along with some other detail that could be helpful in the marketing and sales process. So today we're going to talk specifically about how to grow that large prospect list and how to use it with some basic workflows in order to convert those prospects into live customer opportunities. So the word prospect is part of the lexicon of sales management And there's many different descriptions of it. Today, I simply mean that we have someone's contact data, preferably someone that has a reason to be on our list, which means they would be buyers of what it is that we have to sell. And anyone that we have contact data for, the goal is to convert them first to an interested follower of what your company is doing and what you as a marketing or salesperson are doing, and secondly, more importantly, convert them to someone who will begin to interact with you live and go through your sales process. So let's do a quick poll. Perry will put it up for us and read it off, and let's figure out where you're at right now with your current customer, prospect contact lists.
Okay, great. So I've just launched the poll. Which statement most closely resembles your current state? And the answers we have one at least 10x the size of our active customer list. We have one, I think, but not sure where it is. I don't think we have much of one at all. Let's be honest, we don't have one. So you can just select your answer, and I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, and once that's done, I'm going to show you the results as well. So 10 more seconds and we should be done. I can see your votes coming through. Okay, so there's the results. Okay, so the first 52% they have said that we have one at least the size of our active customer list, and then there's daylight difference between the next one. So Richard?
Okay. Well, that's good. We're, for the most part, talking with people that are already converted and recognize the value of a good prospect list. Now, I want to draw a case for you of the importance of that prospect list a little bit, and it has to do with some technology changes that it seems like only the blink of an eye, but it's been probably 20 years now at least. But it's the advent of the arrival of voicemail and the web, the World Wide Web. And both of those took over in relatively the same decade, and they changed our lives in massive ways. You know that. I want to just speak specifically to how it changed our lives regarding the process of sales and marketing. Now, essentially, they created a power shift where the salesperson's role changed dramatically. Prior to the web becoming what it is today, salespeople were highly valued by buyers because they had information that the buyers may not have had. It could have been product catalogs, it could have been industry-specific knowledge. There were many reasons why a salesperson was valuable, and people that were in the role of a buyer would need to talk with them. Since the World Wide Web has become so integrated in our everyday living, as you know, you can gather information on virtually any topic, any product, and sadly even on all of our competitors' products and offerings as well, with just a few keystrokes or mouse clicks. So the question is, you know, are salespeople obsolete? And the answer is no, not at all. However, the expectation that your outside sales force will bring you in a constant stream of new accounts most likely is. Outside sales are still very important, but the nature of selling has changed dramatically, and we'll look a little bit more at that over the next slide or two. Today, you know, there's a mantra. A fellow named Frank Rambuscus who wrote a book quite a few years ago now, but in it he had the startling title, "Cold Calling is Dead," and Frank was a bit ahead of his time, but he's correct. My belief is, too, that cold calling is dead. The only people that still advocate for cold calling are generally old school trainers that want to sell you on that idea. But from a process standpoint, which is where I live day to day, there's no economy for you to be doing a bunch of dials, fighting through gatekeepers, only to get someone's voicemail. So today we need technology to help us through and bridge that problem. We also need access to good data. The more data we have in an ever-growing contact list, the greater our reach, the more value and better probability there's going to be of us engaging someone who will go down our sales process with us. And the reason is this: it's all about timing today. Every sale that you make and every purchase that's made is a timing-based or timing-triggered purchase. And I'll comment on that again in a moment. And the last thing we need is a system of marketing and communication so that we can get good offers out there in front of our prospects. So the voicemail side of the equation is that executives today simply don't answer the phone for the most part. So your likelihood of doing a dial and getting the target person you want on the phone is very small. And as you know, even a receptionist will tell you, you call, you ask for Mr. Johnson, the receptionist says sure, she puts you over, you get his voicemail, so you default to 0, go back to reception, and you say, gee, I got Mr. Johnson's voicemail, do you know if he's available? And the receptionist will say, well, actually he's not in today. And he was never going to answer that phone no matter how many times you dialed. So the other aspect of this is that society has changed. And when you call someone today, there used to be a social norm in place where people would feel obligated to return your call. It was just a matter of courtesy. Voicemail has meant that has changed. And while people don't answer, the phone ring used to be a trigger. Now we're all numb to it, and it's a bit of survival, right? If we answered every incoming call, we probably would get buried on telephone calls and not get any work done. But people don't answer the phone, and they only return calls to people that they know well, that they're in relationship with, or that they're anxious to speak to for their own purposes. So cold calling is a real uphill battle and a tremendous consumer of time with very little payback. Now buyers will talk to you though when the time is right for them. And when that timing is right, then you can get into a conversation and have that proceed through your sales process. So the question is, how will we be at the right place at the right time when it's right for them? And it's through having a good communication program that keeps you top of mind for the buyers and keeps you in front of them with different potential offers that may at any moment in time hit them with a personal trigger that gets their attention and that they're going to respond to. Now, from a process standpoint, sales management may have a good debate and healthy argument about how do we drive more sales. And some people might make the argument that we need to be better at converting opportunity into deals. My personal view of this is that what we really need is a lot more inquiries and leads to follow up on. And there's a bit of math that I'm not going to spend time with you today that could bear that out and prove it to you. But basically, it's a lot easier to make massive gains in the number of incoming inquiries that you have than it is to shift from, let's say, a 25% closing rate to a 30 or 40% closing rate. The actual impact on your business is going to be relatively small compared to the impact of having a really strong lead flow. So I'll just ask you to take a leap of faith with me on that, and it keeps with our program today anyway. Now, one of the interesting things that I've experienced in working with sales representatives. One is that they're convinced that the customer is going to follow them, and to some degree it's true, but for the most part my experience has been the customer relationship is with the organization, not with the sales rep. It starts off with the sales rep, but then it grows to be a company-to-company relationship. Now, each person has their own circle of influence, or sphere as it's called, of people that they know that are part of their own Rolodex. And when you begin to sell or begin your quest for new accounts, you know, you can milk that audience for all it's worth for a while, but at some point you will find that the timing for anyone that knows you, who's willing to do business with you, you've found those timings and you've in fact made your sales. After that, however, when you need to get new people, it's often, I find, like hitting the wall. I know that for many of you, you know what I mean by that, and you've already made great efforts in getting your prospect base built. Well, what we want to do is have a really good method of moving through this wall and keeping the momentum going with new business. So we need new methods and new technologies. So this slide shows my view of what I believe is important in a lead generation program. Interestingly, one of my emails this morning featured a headline that basically said, you know, generating leads has a very negative connotation to it. And yet, while that may be true, generating leads or interested parties in what you have to offer is the lifeblood of your company. So if lead generation doesn't sound good to you, forgive me, it's just the normal language, and maybe someday we'll get a better semantic in place for it. So the goal is to get this large growing prospect list and convert them into inquiries or live opportunities for you. And the main components are, today we have access to research tools that only a few years ago were unheard of or unthought of. Second thing that's really valuable is to have an automated email platform where you can set up autoresponders and communication workflows that will have time delays built in and have some if-then scenarios developed where, based on what the prospect is doing, you can direct a flow of information to them that is appropriate to their behavior. Now, of course, a high-functioning website is a given, and by that I mean a website that is not only attracting a high volume of visitors, it is also converting a healthy number of those visitors into inquiries. A social CRM is critical today as well. The tools are available, and you're welcome to message me on Twitter if you'd like some recommendations. But the tools are available today where you can watch everyone's social conversations and social streams all from one view in real time, and it gives you many more channels to communicate with people. And so if you don't have a social CRM, I highly recommend you get one. And the last one is that you are working your LinkedIn network and other social media on an active basis. So I think that brings us to another poll. Perry, if you could run that one for us. I'm curious to find out just a count of how many of these tools you have in place.
Sure, Richard. So yeah, how many of these elements are you mastering in your business? Research technology, automated email platform, high-functioning website, well-utilized social CRM, well-utilized LinkedIn profiles, and other social media. So again, we have 30 seconds. You can go ahead and cast your vote, and I will be sharing the results at the end of 30 seconds. So I'll be giving you another 5 seconds. So I see the votes coming through, and yep, okay. Okay, so there's the results for you. So 26% of the people think that well-utilized LinkedIn profiles and other social media. And then the next thing is well-utilized CRM, which is at 22%, high-functioning website at 19%. Richard?
Okay, great. So let's look at how we're going to get this growing and intelligent list as our foundation to our lead gen program. So in talking about lists, I have to talk for a moment about list segmentation. When you have a list that is segmented into groups that have particular attributes in common, that changes your ability to communicate with a more and ever clearer message that matches the potential business needs of that particular group. So a contact list is great. Having a contact list that is broken down into segments where you can customize your content and your communication with them, it's going to be a huge advantage for you. As you can see here, open rates are increased by 39% using a segmented list. The opt-out and unsubscribe rates go down. Revenue goes up by 24%, increased sales leads by 24%. There's a lot of merit to having a segmented list. So I'm just going to touch on that for a moment. You can get extremely rich and comprehensive with your segmentation. I would suggest probably that if you have someone who has the available time to do this, or if you can spend the time to do it, the more specific you can be with your list segmentation, the better it's going to pay back for you. But let's assume for a moment that we're just going to work on the basics. So here's a couple of variables that you could use to segment your list. It could be based on geography. It could be based on the industry people are coming from. It could be based on the job title or role that the person's playing. And when I say behavior, what I mean by that is behavior in their interaction with your communications. So, for example, if you were sending out, well, today as an example, information about email marketing, and someone keeps opening your communications regarding email marketing, you know that that person's behavior indicates that that is an offering that they are highly likely to respond to. If the person isn't opening anything you're sending them about that, then obviously they're less likely and probably not a good candidate for those type of offers. So you can get as specific as need be, and you could have many layers of segmenting that would help you to customize your content. So this is just one particular view. Here's a sample of someone's, an actual sample of someone's target profile. This was from a freelance bookkeeper who decided that she wanted to sell to local companies up here in Canada, in Toronto, who are truckers, drivers and brokers of transport firms. So she identified her geography to be Toronto west to Oakville, which is still probably has about a million potential people in it. The industry was small transport firms, small trucking firms, size 1 to 10 employees, and her target was the president or owner-operators. And through some conversations, she determined that one of the key triggers that that segment would respond to was that they were frustrated with administrative duties, and meeting with your bookkeeper or having your bookkeeper come in and go over your documentation during normal transportation hours cost them money and was very inconvenient. So once you have even a simple persona or target market identified, it then allows you to search for the data much better. So this is the very least that we would go for, and the more information you get, the more specific you get, then the better quality of information you're going to get when you do your marketplace research. Now imagine you had a very specific criteria of who would be your best customers, and we tend to say, you know, analyze your top 20% of customers, find out what they have in common, and then use those criteria to search out more companies and buyers who share those same attributes. But once you have that identified, imagine what really would that data, how much value would it be to your company? So where does it come from? Well, inbound marketing is a great place. If your website can draw in the right people through your keyword optimization and through using search marketing techniques, then your inbound marketing will produce a steady stream of prospective customers for you. Inbound marketing requires discipline and some investment, but since it kind of reverses the flow where it's the customer who is searching you out, you know that the timing aspect is taken care of already, and they're at least aware of the need for your product or service. Then there's other programs out there like Hoover's, Jigsaw, Sales Genie. Good programs. They have great information available. However, they're very intelligent business people, and you have to pay a price to get all of the detail that you really want, and it's a never-ending cost to use those services or other information brokers, list brokers. It's a costly endeavor. So one of the things that I loved when I discovered the account researcher tool by eGrabber was how it gave you total control over the information you needed to research, and it's extremely cost effective. It's a huge value, and once you get the tool, it works wonderfully. So you know, the question would be, if a tool like Account Researcher could have you get all of the information that you need, you know, what would that intelligence be worth to you? If you could learn about the social streams that people are, that sort of thing. So I'm going to pass over now to our product specialist, Clinton, and he's going to pick it up from there and show you really one of the most exciting tools I've seen in a long time.
Thank you very much, Richard. So before we come back to Richard, and Richard's going to be talking about how you take your contact information, how you take your prospect list and move it through the cycles of converting them to sales. So before we come to that, I'm going to take about 5 minutes to show you what this account researcher does, okay, and why a lot of salespeople love it, okay. So the problem that a lot of salespeople had was you had lots of social media, you have lots of social profiles out there nowadays. You have Google+, you have LinkedIn, lots of places where you can find your prospects. And the nice thing about these websites compared to Jigsaw, Hoover's, ZoomInfo, you can search these websites using very rich content. For example, if you're looking for CTOs in the San Francisco Bay Area, and people who have experience in big data or cloud, okay, now you can search for personas like that, okay, in these social media profiles, and that you couldn't do in the list providers, and in the olden days you could not do that with phone books and just phone lists. But with all these nice social media out there, you can search for these people, you can search for your profiles and get a very highly segmented list, which gives you all the great the benefits that Richard was talking about if you have a segmented list. However, there's one problem with all these profiles. while you can get the name, the company, the title, and the experience of the person, you're still missing the email and the phone number, which in a sense they are really the things which you need to have to start prospecting from there. So since all salespeople have this problem, we went ahead and developed the software called the Account Researcher. So what does it do? With our knowledge of the internet, and eGrabber has been around since the time the internet got popular, since Netscape and all those things. So we know how the internet has developed. Okay, so what we did was, okay, we know techniques of how to take a name and a company, and we know how to build a complete business card which has email, phone number, and other social information for you. So what you're seeing on the right hand side of the screen is the Account Researcher software, and you see a business card which has all this information filled up for you. All this from just a name and a company, and the software fills all this for you so that you can use, so you can start contacting and Julius or whoever it is that you can point to. Okay, now if this is exciting for you, okay, what might excite you more is how this information comes. Okay? We don't have a database. eGrabber doesn't maintain a database of contact information, okay? Because databases are old school. People used to keep it, but they go out of date so fast. Okay, but we don't maintain it. But what we do is, instead, we refer to the most updated database which is available, okay, which is the internet. So if you take a name and a company and you punch it into the software, the Account Researcher software, this is the magic which goes behind the scene. It looks all over the internet and searches for contact information. That's right. So if someone's left the email address out there, people put their contact information on slide shares and groups and various places, and you'll be amazed how much contact information is out there on the internet. Now we know this, and the experts also know this. The expert internet researchers know this. So we took all that expertise and built it into software. So if the email is out there, it'll point you to where it found it. The software goes out, and in less than a minute, it finds the email on the internet, and it points you to it. And if any of your prospects' email addresses is not on the internet, then it does the next best thing. It looks at the colleagues of your prospect and looks at what email addresses they have and predicts from there. For example, look at your own email address. You might have a first name dot last name @yourcompanydomain.com or some kind of email ID pattern, and most people in your organization will have the same email ID pattern. Now, so that's what the software does. And how accurate is this? Well, if it's on the internet, if the email address is on the internet, there's a 95% chance it's going to find it. And if it's not there, it's going to be 3 times as faster than a human being in projecting an email address. Okay. Now that said, we made a patent to this whole technique. Okay, just to show that it actually works. Okay. So that's what the eGrabber Account Researcher software is. You take a name and a company from wherever it is. You can have it on a social profile. You can read it on a blog, wherever. Put that into the Account Researcher software. Type it in. Press a button, and it'll build that whole business card for you. And the nice thing is, from there, you can put it into any of your CRMs. There's a choice of CRMs. Some people like a single button transfer. You can do that too. And finally, if you have a name in a company in an Excel sheet, or you have just an email signature, or somebody referred them to you, or you have wherever you have a name in a company, put that in, and it can fill up the balance information for you. Okay. One final thing before I hand it back to Richard. A lot of salespeople have this second problem. That is, they have a company that they have to target and find a decision maker. Well, from surveying thousands of people, okay, thousands of salespeople, they all tell us that it takes between 15 minutes to 30 minutes sometimes to find the decision maker, find the contact information. But why take all that time when the software can do it for you in under a minute? So the account researcher software, you can put in the company name, press another button, and it makes a list of decision makers which you need. So if you tell it, I'm looking for the board members, yeah, you can do that. If you're looking for logistics managers or something like that, you type that in, and the software will go out and find that on the internet and does it very fast, faster than a human being can, and then pulls that list up for you. Very useful. So you can spend the extra time. So if it's taking 15 minutes doing it manually, this thing does it in a minute, and you can spend that 14 minutes actually calling them or emailing them. So yeah, this software is available for with us right now. So in case you like a personalized demo, go ahead and you can type it in your GoToMeeting chat box, which you have on the site. Okay? Just type a time when you'd like a personalized demo, and we'll get back to you. Okay. There's also another option. You can write to Parry@egrabber.com, and you see his email address over here. Type in a time and date when you like a personalized demo for your prospects to see if it works for you, and we'll get you on a 10-15 minute demo. It just takes that long to have a look at the software. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's it. Okay, then you can decide whether the account researcher is meant for you or not. Okay. So that's what the eGrabber software does. Name a company from anywhere, put it in, you get a full business card. Now, to take that business card and to do something with that business card, here is Richard again to tell you how you go from there. Richard, the floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thanks, Clinton. You know, it's almost like magic to see the account researcher tool at work, and what a way to save time. You know, one of the comments that I made a couple of years ago is that the relentless acceleration of technology is going on, and you know, there's never been a time in history when a small organization or even a one-person business can do so much with so little. It's an amazing age to be in business, and the account researcher tool is just phenomenal. Now, so imagine that you are now getting a regular flow of inbound, or new contact data coming into your system. How are we going to convert that into a potential customer? So I'm going to give you a couple of cycles. They're probably familiar to many of you, but in case that you're not, this may help. So the workflow would start with sending out a direct mail piece to someone that is in your segment or someone that you've targeted. Now, the beauty of the direct mailer is that we're going to help stay within the boundaries of the CAN-SPAM Act, and we're going to get people to opt in. And you know, up here in Canada, there's a big upheaval going on with our postal service, and it's losing a lot of money, and you know, there's all kinds of points of view about it. The interesting thing is today we tend to get junk mail, and we tend to get bills in hard copy through our U.S. and Canadian Postal Service and wherever else you might be in the world. It's actually turned around now where a personalized and personally addressed letter can have a very high marketing impact for you. So the content of that it could just be a simple greeting card. Many printing operations have this service. You could do it by hand right from your desk if you want to do it that way, or you can do it in larger numbers using tools. And again, you can tweet me if you'd like a direct request, and I'll give you some suggestions on some automated tools to help make this easy. But basically, your greeting card is going to introduce yourself. It's going to be personalized to the recipient, and inside what you need to do is have an offer of some kind of content, whether that content is that content could be you know, a white paper, it could be a case study, it could be a tool that could be useful to someone, it can be some information of a new product release. Whatever that content offer is, you want to get them directed to an offer landing page that you create. If you're administering your own website, then you can create your own landing page there. You could get your web manager to do it. And there are tools as well that can be used to just create landing pages on the fly. But basically what you want to do is get the person to go from their hard copy mailer to a landing page where they can request whatever it was that you offered them, and as they put their name and email address in and whatever else you ask them for in the landing page form, when they hit submit or get information now or get my free trial, whatever it is that you've offered, that is their opt-in. And that's a critical piece to having this work. So what we want to do in this case is step number one, do a hard copy mailer. It could be a simple letter, postcard, greeting card type, and send it off to them with your landing page all set up and your offer ready to go so it can be fulfilled. The second step then is when they opt in and request that offer to be fulfilled, the ideal thing would be to deliver it through an autoresponder. So the process here is that they're going to put their name, email address in, they're going to click submit. That should then fill in, that form information should be submitted into your email platform. Again, if you don't have one, send me a quick note and I'll suggest some good ones for you. And then you can set any good email platform today will have an autoresponder, and you can send your PDF file of your case study or your white paper or the article or whatever it is that you're offering, and you've now fulfilled the first request and you have them opted into your electronic communication system. The next thing we would recommend that you do is have a second offer ready to go where you invite your new prospect into a higher level of interaction. So a webinar like today is a good example of that. Some kind of an event that you would like them to attend, trade show, something that you're hosting live, or it could even be to invite them into a phone call to discuss something about their interest in your offer. And again, if you're using an automated program, it can all be preset ahead of time, giving you a lot of time efficiency. It can work 24/7. I can tell you through our own marketing, it's amazing people that are working into all hours of the night and making requests for information or signing up for webinars at very unusual hours. So that's the beauty of automated programs. The other thing is time. We live in a generation where everything needs to be as quick as possible. So that's why, you know, I love the account researcher tool. You can put in a minimum of criteria, and within seconds you've got what you're looking for. Same thing with responding to your potential customers. If they request something and they get it immediately, that's going to build a big deposit of credibility for you. Any delays at all today means that they could totally lose interest in what you're doing or what you're offering. So speed is critical. Autoresponders are great, and automated email communication programs. The last step then is to get people who have interacted with you now on this level. This is kind of a concentric circle marketing where we're starting off with a broad audience, making our first offer. That offer then converts to a smaller audience that accepts your second offer, and now we want to invite those people perhaps into a direct contact opportunity where you can have a discussion. I'm going to give you a quick overview of a live example. I apologize that I don't have it in the slides, but Dr. Lisa Lang runs this system. Her company is called The Science of Business. She specializes in a methodology of scheduling job shop production schedules. And Lisa did her own research piece. She came up with an article called the top 9 reasons why your production schedule is dead on arrival and it's not going to happen. That's her first offer. The second offer is to attend a webinar. During the webinar, she makes a third offer, which is to buy into her system. She's been extremely successful with this system and made a ton of money from it. So that's our first four-step workflow in summary. Here's round 2 that you can do. Not everyone's going to enter your sales process at this point, so you keep repeating, right? And you keep doing your mailers. Now that we have our prospects opted in, we can go straight to an email offer. And because you're doing segmentation, we can offer something that's very specific to each segment and send them an article, an offer of a tool that'll be very relevant to them. As an example, we are resale partners with HubSpot. HubSpot creates a ton of content. And I may just give you a quick comment here. Originally, HubSpot paid a lot of attention to the quality of their content. And along the way, they were straining at the seams to continually produce this great content. And they said, I wonder what would happen if we didn't put so much effort into the quality of content, we just kept it relevant. And they found that the response rate was just as good with the lower quality content. I'm just sharing that tidbit with you because sometimes it may seem overwhelming to produce content. The key is to have it there and have it relevant. So what they do is they educate, they inform, they entertain, they give useful tools, and I don't mind getting their emails because they're always relevant to what I'm doing. And there's a fair amount of research that shows your unsubscribe rates don't get affected very much by the volume of emails that you send, provided that it's always relevant to your market. Again, second step, auto-reply, deliver whatever it is that they want, and then set up your next opportunity with a delay to invite them into a higher level of interaction, and then after the webinar or special event or special offer, proceed to inviting direct content. One of the things that I found to be very useful is to use a time scheduling tool. The one I use is called TimeTrade, timetrade.com. You can go there. I find a lot of people, after they've interacted a few times with my content, I just send them a link inviting them into a conversation, letting them know that I value their time and want them to be able to get straight into my calendar. And I find that about 70% of my live pre-booked phone appointments happen through the TimeTrade link. So technology is so powerful and time-saving. Now, that's sort of a lead nurturing approach. I wanted to give you a very direct one and close the loop on our bookkeeper. Remember, our bookkeeper was going after transport industries. What she would do is, after getting the transport contact data, she would send a simple email with this theme built in. I'm a bookkeeper looking for my next ideal client in Toronto West. I specialize in working with small transport firms. I have flexible hours, and this was her offer that was compelling. She changed her life around to make herself available on weekends and evenings that fit the schedules of her intended customer base. That was a huge part of her offer, very, very successful for her. And you know, she adds a little bit of extra information in there about liberating time, letting the operator do what they do best, and showing that her fees are paid for through cost and tax savings. So these processes can be very direct if you have the right offer. They can also be built out over time, because at any moment in time, you never know if it's the right moment in time for your customers. So a good lead nurturing campaign after campaign after campaign, eventually you'll get them all. Okay, I'm going to hand it back to Clinton to finish, It's been a pleasure to be here, and I hope you have a great day and a super month.
Okay. Yep. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you so much for the knowledge and insight. And I did learn a lot, and I'm sure that the audience would have had a lot of new things that they've come across as well. So, yep. Before we wind up, what I'd like to tell you guys is that please go ahead and let us know when you want to have a personalized demo. Kindly put in the time, and we can ensure that you get the call as per your convenience. You can put that type the time, and we'll schedule a demo for you, and you can type that in your chat box, or better still, you can send me an email. Send it to parry@egrabber.com, and we'll ensure that one of our account researcher experts calls you and shows you a personalized demo. And moving on, as promised, we're going to give you a fully functional 7-day trial, and you can evaluate the software. And if you have any questions even during the evaluation period, you can always send me an email. And if you still have any questions that you need answered by Clinton or Richard, you could send me an email and I'll pass that over to them. And yep, that's my information over there. And let's go over to the Q&A session. And we have some questions over here, Clinton. Let me read them out to you. Just one moment. Okay, the first question that we have here is that how many emails and phones can I append on a given day?
As many as you can put in. Well, the tool works at about, it takes about 60 seconds to find an email and phone number per record, so you can compute how many ever you need.
Okay, thanks, Clinton. And there are about 3-4 questions that are related to the one that I'm going to ask you right now. How to ensure that my email marketing is CAN-SPAM compliant?
For CAN-SPAM, there are a bunch of rules which you need to follow, and I think I'd hand this over to Richard. Richard, you've had a lot of experience in dealing with these things, so you'd like to take the question, or how would it be?
Yeah, it's a great question, and in Canada, for any of our Canadian viewers today, there's a new act that is being hotly debated, but apparently it's going to come into effect July 1st, that has very rigid rules and very high penalties for spamming. And I'm not going to give you a very intelligent answer here, because I'm going to recommend that you simply Google CAN-SPAM and check it out that way. But I believe that the key to this is that you get people to leave a digital footprint of opting in and requesting that you send them information. And I believe the second important thing is in all of your email campaigns that you have an unsubscribe button very clear and visible to the audience, so that it's what we actually want is it to be very easy for them to unsubscribe if at some point they decide that they don't want to get any more transmissions from you. So opt-in first is the critical piece, and secondly, have a good unsubscribe. But I would encourage you to do some research as well to get even more detail than I'm giving.
Thank you, Richard. And yeah, another question. I think this is for Clinton. If the phone number is not available, one moment. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. Can the software do batch processing? Because you said that it can do, in 60 seconds you can get one contact. Can it do batch processing?
Yes, it can do batch processing. In fact, the batch processing ones are the bigger versions of the software. If you need to take a look at that, just leave a note in your GoToMeeting chat, and I'm sure Patty can organize a demo for you, because these sort of tools you need to it's going to work depending on your prospect, depending on your type of target market. So it's best that you can describe your target market in a personalized demo, and then the Barry or his colleagues can show them to you. Barry?
Thank you, Clinton. And one last one, where we've had about 3 people asking the same question as to can the account researcher, can we use it on our Mac computer?
The account researcher is a PC tool, PC-based tool. So I have customers who take eGrubber tools, and they put it on a Mac after they install the software called the Parallels. So yes, I have some people who do that. Okay, and Richard, a couple of questions for you. Okay? In your presentation, you were talking about a social CRM. Okay, now during customer calls, a lot of people ask me, what is a social CRM? Okay, I mean, they know a CRM is like Salesforce, but how is a social CRM different from a CRM?
Okay, great question. So CRM is a home for, as you know, the data, the contact information. It's a place to make notes of your client, to capture interactive details that might be important. Generally, it has a scheduler, and it may also have some sort of deal tool that keeps track of your open opportunities and your one lost. The social CRM is a new breed of CRM that pulls in the social streams of your contacts. So whether they're on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, etc., it allows you to, when viewing the contact, you can in real time see the conversations that they're having through those channels. And it's a great research tool. And once again, with the account researcher, I believe we can pull in some of those channels and identify the usernames, etc. And then once you have them in, the social CRM can help you to facilitate communication based on the channel that each person likes. So some people love Twitter, some people are really into Facebook, others rely solely on LinkedIn. A good social CRM will allow you to communicate directly with those people via the channel that they seem to be favoring.
Any social CRMs you would recommend?
I do, actually. I really like Nimble. N as Nancy, I-M-B-L-E, Nimble, a software. It's a tremendous tool. It's cloud-based, and it's my favorite.
Cool. And you also mentioned about automated email platforms. Okay, you spoke about HubSpot. I guess HubSpot is one of them.
HubSpot is. It's a complete communication platform. It will allow you to manage your website, create landing pages on the fly. It has a lot of search engine optimization tools built into it, and as well there are email and social campaigns available right through HubSpot. So it's a tremendous tool. It's not inexpensive, however, so you need to have a certain mass in terms of sales volume to make it work well for you. But it's a great place to gather lead intelligence. You can rank your leads. You can research all of the interactions that your leads have done. So HubSpot's a great one. We have our own tool as well. We call it our Performance Lead Generator, and it's essentially the same thing. It's a mini version, perhaps, of HubSpot. It's on a different scale in terms of the cost per month kind of thing. But you know, tremendously simple tool to use. Build out your automated campaigns and set up forms for your landing pages, etc. It's and great for list management. So if anyone is interested in more information about that, let Perry know, or give me a tweet and I'll follow up with you.
Any email address that people can send you an email on?
Absolutely, please. Email is perfect. Just richard@salesperformance.ca.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay. Great questions, by the way. Really good questions.
Thank you,
One
Richard.
of the comments, if I could just jump in quickly, is we run seminars on using LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, as you know, would be it's the first stopping point for business networks. And what I find personally is that lots of times I find very interesting people by using the advanced search tool in LinkedIn and using some of my persona criteria. But it takes a bit of time, and there's time delays to connect with everyone. And there's LinkedIn rules about who you can connect with, etc., which slows the process down. And it's very exciting to me to be able to just save someone to my contacts profile without actually connecting with them, and then you can use the account researcher tool to gather the information you need to begin to interact with that individual.
Right.
Okay, so I think that's...
Any more questions, Barry?
Yeah, that's about it, Clinton. Yep, no more questions as of now, but yeah, we should be getting some emails, I guess.
Well, it's been a real pleasure, gentlemen, and to all of you in the webinar. Thank you very much for today. It's been very enjoyable.
Thank you so much, Richard. Thanks, Clinton. Thanks a lot for your time, and thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for spending some time and having us have this webinar, and we really were happy to present it to you, and hope you had a lot of information that you learned from as well. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys, and please do send in your emails if you have any questions, and we'd be there to assist you. Thank you so much.